Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Super Anime Bros podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rosario, joined by my brother, Angelo, and today we're going to talk about something we love.
So today we're continuing our top 50 anime countdown.
Yes, indeed.
We are at number 30 to 21 we're doing today.
Yeah, good stuff.
So,
go ahead.
So I think it's my turn to go first this week. I don't know if you have anything to add before we
No,
get right
I was just going to say we're getting into some pretty heavy hitters here as we get closer to the bottom of this list. So pretty exciting stuff. I'll also preface by saying that we have quite a few overlappers on this list.
Yes, we do.
So there's going to be some things that we hear about a couple times and just kind of give different outlooks on, but you're forewarned.
All right, so my number 30 is Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
Good choice.
And this is one of your favorites, correct?
It sure is, yeah.
Or no spoilers, sorry.
Well, we'll see.
It's something that you introduced me to. We made a deal to watch.
Welcome.
I forget what was my end of the deal? Was that Initial D? I think it was Initial D.
Maybe it was a continuation of Initial
I don't know.
D. We tried so many things for that show.
Yeah, but regardless, it's something that you showed me, and it's definitely something that I enjoyed a lot. It was I'd say one of my favorite shows that you've got me to watch.
Well, that's good to hear.
It definitely has a lot to like. It has a lot of epic fight scenes, which I think are my favorite part.
Yes, sir.
Definitely a lot of unique characters with unique fighting abilities, and it has a great story too, with a pretty cool plot twist. Won't spoil anything there, but I remember when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Without
it was crazy.
doubt.
And this show has some top-tier waifus. So
that's
what's there not to like? And
certainly true.
I have a note here, is that Lancer is the GOAT.
Gotcha, yeah.
He's awesome.
He's
definitely
pretty sick.
I think definitely my favorite character of the show.
I gotcha.
He's funny and he's cool. So.
Yeah, especially after watching that spin-off, really
yeah, I mean, that made it even funnier, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I'm sure you'll have more to add later.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to hear you speak fairly highly of something that I showed you. It makes me feel good. I would agree that it's a pretty banger show. Maybe we'll talk about it later. Maybe
not.
Who's to say? So my number 30 starts the first one that we're both going to have on the list. Now, I mean, Angela, I'll leave this up to you. We can talk about them separately. We can talk about them at the same time if you want.
I figured let's just talk about them together.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
That way we get some conversation going, not just like, hey, I like this show for this reason. And then 2 minutes later, I just say the exact same thing you did.
I like this show for this reason, yeah.
Because, I mean, some shows I feel like we like for different reasons and get different things out of it. But this next one, I think we really have the same experience.
I would agree. So my number 30 is called Gamers! ! Really, like, I don't want to say not that popular, but, like, I feel like a hidden gem in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have labeled it here miscommunication, the show. I think maybe that's something you've said in the past, or I don't know. It certainly is that.
Yeah.
But it is one of the funniest anime I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to what I put it, but it's the funniest show ever. I really don't think there's any other show I've watched that I've laughed that much while watching.
No, dude, I completely agree. And with it being miscommunication, the show, like quite the love polygon develops, and people are just not like communicating.
No,
with
nobody's
each
on the
other.
same page. That's what I said to you while we were watching. I'm like, if we just got like the group of like 6 people, we just put them in a room and they just talk, the show would be 1 episode long.
Yeah, for sure. But the show involves a games club. People who game for different reasons and trying to come to understand that. Some pretty funny hijinks with the love polygon.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes the show funny.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
Well, in the first ep, when the Amino, the main character, is invited to the games club.
Yes.
And you think that's going to be the show, is him in the games club. And he's like, no, I just like the game for fun.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, that's relatable at times. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm like trying to play a game and it's like super competitive. I'm like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be yelling. I just want to relax. So I definitely understand him there.
Without a doubt. It really is a great show. Like, I feel like oftentimes with stuff that is like secondhand embarrassing, I really struggle to watch it. And this show certainly like has a lot of that because obviously we know things that they don't, and they act upon their lack of knowledge. But this is just something that I can watch and just not feel that secondhand embarrassment at all.
Yeah,
I think it's really special.
It's something where I can enjoy the embarrassment. Which, I agree. It does not happen that often. A lot of times where I'm watching something like that, I'll be like, ugh, like I just don't want to watch. But that you do. It's just, it's so funny.
Yeah, without
it's
a doubt.
so funny.
That's good stuff. Banger opening song as well. Goes so hard.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I feel like I'm gonna have to listen to that after this. I'm in the mood for it.
The Gamers definitely. I think it's definitely one of our sleeper picks here on this list.
For sure.
Because I mean, it's only got 13 or 12 eps. Yeah. Probably never gonna get another season.
Definitely never gonna get another season.
It's like old as heck.
The light novel's definitely finished. I mean, I've never really gone ahead and looked into what the ending could be. We probably will eventually.
Yeah, we'll have to.
But it was a really special 13 episode run. I won't lie.
Yeah, it's great.
I will always look back upon it fondly.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
Well, we're gonna move along here to my number 29, which also is a show we both have today, which is More Than a Married Couple, but Not Lovers.
Yeah.
Which my notes here I put High School Marriage Project ? So this guy or this high school has a senior project. Was it senior?
It might be. I don't know.
It's a big project where it's called the marriage project, and what they do is they put practical. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
They put a boy and a girl in an apartment room, and they have to basically act like married couple.
Yeah.
And they get points for doing married couple stuff, like cooking your partner dinner and stuff like that. I guess it's supposed to be so you can learn how to be a good husband or wife.
Yeah.
Which is a little crazy for high school to do it, but gosh, is it entertaining?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty wild idea. I think this is probably one of my favorite of the lesser known romances that we've stumbled
not
upon.
Like big hitter popular ones.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It certainly is predictable, I will say, based on the pairings and how everything kind of unfolds. A little bit of a love polygon in this one too.
Yeah, because it's the two main characters who are in this practical together, kind of try to team up to help.
Yeah, a little bit of
each other
a Toradora idea there.
It's a similar concept. Yeah, they're trying to help get each other with their crushes, but then they also are spending so much time together that some feelings may start to develop there.
Yeah, for sure. This is one that I've read ahead on. I haven't finished it. Comes out monthly. It's still coming out, but it comes out monthly, so it's kind of hard to stay on top of.
Yeah, it's understandable.
But now, really, really good. Hopefully, it gets another season, dude.
I would love to see more. It's very entertaining, and another, I think, great aspect of this show, which I wanted to mention, was the art style.
Yeah, the art style is beautiful.
The characters are just so easy to look at. They look cool, and for me, I always find myself just looking at the backgrounds. Mm-hmm. They're not super sophisticated.
No, not detailed.
They just seem they're simple, but they're so happy to look at.
Yeah, the colors really pop in the show.
Yeah, I love the way that the show is colored.
No, dude, I agree. It's definitely a pretty interesting animation style, and I too agree.
Does the manga look similar?
Yeah,
it does.
Really
but I feel like a lot of that.
I think the color really is a game changer for me, though. Yeah.
But that's a show where I was always looking at the backgrounds, going ooh, this looks pretty.
For sure.
But it's a great show.
It seems so weird to talk a bunch and then it be my turn again.
All right, doing something different here.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's good. Get the conversation flowing. My number 29 is Chainsaw Man. Mm-hmm. Boy, was this show really, really hyped up. I remember I read the manga before the show had come out, or some of the manga before the show had come out, just because there was so much hype surrounding this. And I think I really enjoyed the manga up to the point I read. I think that based on the insane level of hype, that the show's probably overrated.
I would say so. I mean, for me, it didn't make my
Yeah.
my cut here to the top 50.
That's crazy. Yeah. I do think it's enjoyable. I think there's some really fun characters. Power, she's goated. I think that Denji's a really interesting protagonist. Deeply wounded, and does not really express that in a clear way.
Yeah, I never heard somebody say, "Oh, Denji, like he's a deep dark character."
Yeah, there's so much.
He is, but they.
Well, I mean, if you're looking just on the surface level, it's stupid. Oh, he just likes boobs, but it's all. I think coming from a place of deep darkness, and not really being able to express himself.
Yeah, I mean, in the first season, I don't think we really saw any of that.
No, probably not. Probably not.
'Cause that's all I've watched.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's reading into it a little bit more. But I think that the concept's like not all that new. The idea of there's these devils based on like different fears or bad things in the world. Like you see it, and it's a similar thing in Jujutsu Kaisen with curses. You see it with evil spirits and other shows. Like
it does seem so similar.
Yeah.
And I think the way it just does seem so much like JJK. Like the whatever they call the devils get like their power from people's fear of like certain things.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as like JJK.
The curses, yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely seems similar.
But I think this is a very different take on it. I don't know. It's a little bit more wild with the dialogue and the comedy and kind of like the off the wall stuff. The action's pretty excellent. It's pretty gory with the Chainsaw Man and his chainsaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the first season probably should have been 24 episodes instead of 12. I think they could have gotten a lot more out of it. And the next arc is actually going to be a movie. And I think it'll be pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I like the show a lot. I just think it doesn't live up to the immense hype. And I mean, while we're on the subject, this is another manga that I've continually read as it comes out each week, and probably 3 months ago now, I dropped it. I have not really kept up with it. I've seen some of the leaks, but I just it's split into 2 parts, and where we're at now is part 2 in the manga, and it just I don't know hasn't held up as much for me. The mangaka, some of his stuff's pretty wild and just unpredictable. So I kind of can see that in Chainsaw Man. But yeah, definitely a good show, definitely good characters, but not quite earth-shattering. And maybe I'm missing the point, but not quite as earth-shattering as I think some of the hype may get it or lead people to believe it is.
I agree. So moving on here, my number 28
Yes, sir.
is something you've actually already talked about, and that's the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses, which is something I feel like we've talked about so much recently because it's currently airing at the time of this recording. So the second season's coming out now. So I'm sure we'll talk more about it in a couple weeks here once we start to do our season recap. But this is a show where the college guy inherits his grandma's cafe when she passes away, but there also happens to be 5 girls living in the house that's attached to
Goddesses.
the cafe. Yeah, goddesses. Sorry.
No,
But yeah, this show is great. It makes me laugh so much, and it actually seems like some of the romance is starting to develop more and more, which I do like to see some actual advancement there, not just the slow burn that we see a lot.
Yeah.
At this point, there has been a couple confessions. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But yeah, it's a great show. I'm not going to talk much more about it just because we're going to talk about it soon. So
yeah, for sure.
that's all I really have to say for now.
No, dude, I agree. Obviously, I've already talked about it and like it a lot as well.
Yeah, and I think we pretty much would have said the same thing anyway. I think we'll watch it and enjoy it for the same reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think we have different experiences in that sense.
No, probably not. My number 28 now is called Solo Leveling. This was something that aired last season. Been hyped for a while. Actually based on a Korean manhwa instead of Japanese manga. I did read a little tiny bit of it way back. I have some of the books. Manhwa is pretty cool because most of it's printed in color, which really definitely adds to the reading experience. But Solo Leveling I thought was really, really good. I think this did live up to a lot of the hype that was surrounding it. It was the first like dungeon crawly show that I've ever watched. Kind of like has like a video game-esque structure to it.
Yes.
With the way he's like leveling up his powers and fighting monsters and gaining different tools and weapons. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. I've kind of steered away from that sort of genre of show. I don't really know why, to be honest. Just not always my cup of tea. But this did it really, really well. And maybe that could, I think, lead me to try out more shows like this. But our main character, like, I really, really enjoyed him. Like, starting off crazy weak, but still day in and day out fighting monsters so that he can pay for his mother's hospital bills. She's like in a coma and trying to keep her around, and he also has a little sister to support. So I think that's all really admirable. And then, as you know, fate would have it, he starts powering up and getting new tools and doing new things. So I mean, solo leveling is literally in the name. So as he levels up and gains more things, it's really fun to watch that journey of power growth. It's cool to see the world unfold a little bit. You know, the dungeon monsters aren't necessarily the only evil in the world. Some of the other people can potentially be issues, and I'm sure we'll see more down the line. But for the first season of the show, I really did enjoy it, and I really hope for more. And I'm pretty sure season 2 already got confirmed. I would assume based on the popularity. But I definitely look forward to seeing this come back. This was a pretty high debut here from last season.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. My number 27, which you actually already talked about this
Sure did.
earlier too. I feel like this is becoming common now.
Yeah.
Is Girlfriend. And this is a show where a guy has a girlfriend,
Yep.
and then another girl confesses to him, and he realizes that he loves her equally and convinces his first girlfriend to let him have a second one.
Boy, is that
And
crazy.
somehow she goes with it reluctantly.
Reluctantly.
But it show's funny.
It is very funny.
I feel like I keep saying that for most of the show, but it's so funny.
It
I
is.
love to laugh. So
Yeah,
shows like this are like they're my bread and butter.
for sure.
Where it's just like crazy scenarios are gonna happen. It's like balls to the wall, and like you just never know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
And this show, which you already mentioned this too, but we watch dub and sub because the dub is so good.
Yeah.
They have so many funny lines. They take so many funny liberties that I definitely love to see when the dub does that.
For sure.
But yeah, it's great. Right now, there's even more than just 2 girlfriends because he has other girls who are interested in him.
Yeah.
And one, they're on like a trial relationship.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, so it should be called Girlfriend to the I don't know, 4th power or 4 girlfriends because there's more than one.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Never would happen, but is very entertaining nonetheless.
It sure is. Yeah. I can't disagree with you there.
No, I'm glad you did stick it out and
Yeah, for sure.
watch through the first season because now
sure.
that the second season was absolutely great.
Yeah, without a doubt. Alrighty. On to my number 27. How about that? A show that you've already talked about. So my number 27 is Orange. Not going to spend too much time on it just because you did a deep dive on it a couple weeks ago. Rewatched the whole show. So it was about as thoroughly as I think we can cover it.
Yeah.
But really, really hard-hitting show. Really meaningful show. Love the characters. Really deals with some tough topics, which I certainly respect and enjoy seeing represented in media. Banger opening, solid closing too. Actually, I really like the show. It was an interesting premise and certainly I think has a lot of heart behind it, which I love. So that's my 27 dog.
All right. Well, hopefully you're ready to talk again.
Oh boy,
Because
am I.
my 26 was Gamers, which
How about
we
that?
both just talked about. So,
Yeah.
what's your number 26?
That was good. So on to my number 26, Naruto, the original show. Nothing more to describe this, or no better way to describe this than as an absolute classic. I have not finished the show. I actually haven't watched it in a good long while. I went on a really solid run there for a long time, but haven't come back to it quite yet. I think I'm like 5 seasons in, maybe. Could be wrong there, but I mean, I certainly see why this became so popular. I think a lot of that has to do with just the way it was aired in America, and how there wasn't certainly, I think, a lot of anime at the time. This, along with something I'm actually going to talk about later, I think really helped pave the way for the anime in America that we see today and how popular it has become. Certainly, and one more that I will not talk about, and you will certainly talk about way later, but we don't need to talk about that one yet.
Ow.
Show-wise. But
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think this show has a great blend of awesome action, really cool different powers or jutsu that they use. I think it's really funny. I mean, Naruto himself he's like, I don't know. He can be like slightly annoying at times, I guess, especially at the beginning. But he's really, he's an awesome protagonist. He is. A lot of heart, and you can really get behind him. And also very funny. So I've enjoyed my time with it thus far. I really do think I'll get back into it one day, and then eventually I'll watch Shippuden. It's an uphill climb. It's a lot of stuff to watch. Not to mention, like, so many awesome opening songs like that. That really helps to heighten this show. I think it's the second arc, the Chunin exam arc, with like the tournament and all the different other battles was like, it was so enjoyable, and I can see why it's such a classic in terms of tournament with so many awesome moments. So yeah, I really have enjoyed my time with this show thus far, and definitely I plan to get back into it eventually. But yeah, it's pretty great.
All right, moving on to my 25.
Yes, sir.
Is Darling in the Franxx.
All right.
This is a show, once again, you talked about earlier.
Yeah, a while ago. I think.
This is something that definitely did not stick with you
No.
nearly as much as it stuck with me.
No, it did not.
And it's something that I made you watch.
Yes, sir.
But I absolutely love this show. And to be fair, the ending of the show I didn't really love either. I definitely, what I said to you before was, if the ending of the show was great, it would probably be in my top 10.
Yeah.
Because I like the show so much. I like the fighting is cool. Like a lot of the powers, the mechs, it's fun.
Yeah,
but I really
like, yeah.
Yeah, what I really liked was the romance in it. I just thought it was so good, and it like immediately hooked me in. Like the first day I started watching the show, I remember I watched like a couple episodes, and I'm like, and you were like, we were supposed to watch this together, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, sorry, and then you're like, oh, we'll watch it eventually. I'm like, no, I need to watch it today.
Well, I did.
And then I watched to
eventually.
like episode like 16 or 17. It was a show I finished in 2 days,
Yeah.
which I think it has like 24 or 25 eps.
Wild.
Yeah, so I watched so much of it one day. It was like ate up my entire weekend, but I just enjoyed it so much that it was worth it. It's definitely an interesting concept. I think it takes, I'll say, inspiration from other shows, but it's about like a group of, or like basically a post-apocalyptic world with these monsters. What are they called? Calaxosaurs in Darling in the Franxx?
Yeah, for sure.
And a group of young adults who pilot the suits that can fight them, much like Ava.
Yeah.
Much like Ava, but it's definitely not as like psychological as Ava at all.
No.
They don't take any inspiration there, I guess. But it's a very, I'd say, enjoyable show, and I really think the romance is what shines through the most. At least that's what spoke to me the most. Obviously, we get like a top tier waifu from that show, which is 02.
For sure.
Everybody knows who 02
Yeah, I
is.
see a lot of 02 stickers on cars.
Yeah, so many. I'm like, yeah, represent. But yeah, it's a great show. It has some comedy elements too, some like mystery as you're trying to figure out what happened to the Earth that like got everybody to this point. It did make me think a little bit. Eventually, you do find out. But yeah, if the ending of the show was like good, I think it would be a top 10.
Very interesting. Let's see. So what are we on? 25.
We're on 25.
25. All right. So my number 25, I think, is also on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So my number 25 is called A Couple of Cuckoos. It's about two people that were switched at birth. Wild concept. And later in life are reintroduced. And maybe some potential romance could ensue.
Yeah. So their parents do find out that their children were switched at birth, and what they decide would be a good idea to like bring them together so they can see their real like blood child, and so the children can see their like blood related parents. They decide, hey, let's just make the kids get married.
Yeah.
Because they're the same age, they're a boy and a girl, so
perfect,
let's set up an arranged marriage for our two young main characters here.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty wild. They end up like trying to get a house together and try to make that work. Certainly at first, they're very against it. But as we go along, maybe they start to enjoy each other's company. Of course, there's some more challengers introduced.
Yeah, there's definitely some more love interest to make sure it's not simple.
For sure.
Yeah, it's always how it goes. And I don't think this show will ever get another season, honestly.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I definitely don't hear much about it. I don't think it got super popular, but I think that's another one of our hidden gems we found, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. For me, it was one of the shows I found during COVID, during my second time having COVID. So, like I said, that always makes it have like a little special place for me.
Thank you, COVID shows.
Well, it was only just coming out, so I only watched like the first 5-6 episodes. But I just enjoyed it so thoroughly. I thought it was super funny, a lot of lovable characters, and yeah.
Yeah, dude, I agree. It is very funny. I think it's also pretty wholesome, like relatively to what the concept is, and
for
and
sure.
all the girls and like I read ahead on this one as well. Did not finish it. I'm not even sure if it's done, but there was certainly like a lot more that happens. This was a while ago, but I do recall it being pretty solid. So, should this never get another season, which, like you said, doesn't look likely. But yeah, that's the tangent I kind of wanted to go off on very briefly here. Is like, as we watch these things, like as they're coming out, more and more of them just don't get another season. And I think when we first started watching stuff, we were watching things that were complete, and it never really, I guess, was a thought that hey, like a lot of this stuff is never gonna get
I think it was Gamers was like the first show that we were watching. We're like,
that's interesting.
Man, this is not going to end.
Yeah,
I was one of the first. I'm trying to think. Well, I guess I watched like Snow White with the red hair, but I didn't know the manga was still going on. I just thought it had like a kind of abrupt ending without like anything definitive happening.
Yeah,
I think Gamers was the first thing. You're like, hey, this is it.
Yeah, like there's more here, and it's just not.
We just are never gonna get to watch it.
Yeah,
you have to read a book.
Yeah,
not even a manga.
Right.
Like a light novel.
So yeah, it's like I don't know. It's a really really annoying aspect of things, but. As long as the manga is available to read somewhere online, I'm cool with it, and I can always go and read it like I have with this. But
yeah, I think I'm starting
really
to get
annoying.
to the point with this where like, hey, if I don't see something soon, which we're probably not gonna,
yeah.
I'm just gonna have to read ahead one day when I got some free time and just make it happen so I can see how the story continues and eventually ends.
Pretty poggers. I think it's your turn here, brother.
All right, so moving on here to my number 24 is something you talked about already.
How about that?
Believe it or not, the 100
is.
Girlfriends who really, 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 really love you.
Really love
Which
it, yeah.
did I miss it? Really?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's 5. But this is
there's 5 girls.
Yeah, it's a great, absolutely top tier harem show. Super, very funny. Definitely one of the funniest ones I've watched and takes a lot of liberties.
Yeah, pretty off the wall.
Yeah, I love it when shows just like do whatever they want. And this is a show where a young man does he make a wish to the god of love?
I don't even remember.
What doesn't matter. The god of love messes up and he ends up is going to have 100 girls fall in love with him, and if they don't fall in love with him, they die.
Yeah.
So unless he's gonna let people die, he's gonna have 100 girlfriends.
He would never.
And in the manga, the authors like swore that he's gonna finish it and he's gonna get Rentaro 100 girlfriends.
It's crazy.
This is something I've read ahead, and I definitely think that affects its placing here.
Yeah.
Because having only one season, it's hard to place something up this high.
Without a doubt.
But I've read probably like another season or two ahead. I think he's got like 20 girlfriends now. It's crazy. But there's always something it's so funny, and it continuously stays that funny. And Rentaro just has so much love to give that none of these girls are neglected. And even going where we're at now, he still shows love to like the originals.
Yeah.
So it's great. Everybody gets like super, honestly, pretty equal screen time later on. So if there's one you like in the beginning, she'll still be relevant, which is great.
Yeah, that's pretty electric.
But yeah, I can't wait to see more of this. I know another season got announced, so
yeah, for sure.
Can't wait to.
I think this one's actually pretty
watch
popular.
Yeah, I'm glad it's
based
so
on,
good.
Like, seeing the manga a lot at the bookstore, like it. Yeah.
I mean, never. Have you ever seen anything like it?
No, certainly not. It's definitely, definitely going above and beyond.
Yeah.
So get ready to talk again, dog. My number 24 is More Than a Married Couple, but Not Lovers, which we've already covered.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. I'm like, what do you mean? We could. All right, my number 23 is Hunter x Hunter, this is another show that I know you really like.
Wow.
What's wow? Is that not high enough?
No, that's good. That's great.
Yeah, but I think that might be one of the highest ones that you've showed me.
Yeah.
Not I know what the highest is. It's not this.
No.
But
I mean, the next one's higher already. That's fine too. The two ahead.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
For a action show, that's pretty high for me.
For sure, yeah.
I don't know. I just really like this show. I think it's always
a great show.
Had great vibes. I like how it's like adventure-like.
Yes.
Because I love adventure shows. I like action, but sorry, I'm getting really loud.
They're hunters.
I love adventure. Like it's kind of like One Piece in the sense that
for sure,
he's just trying to explore a lot of world building, seeing everything, and he's got great friends, which Leorio is my absolute favorite.
Leorio's good.
He's relatable because he's like. He's not that. He's just like a normal dude.
Just a guy, yeah.
And like I remember his first motivation was money, but he explains that well, like why he needs money. But I'm like, man, he's just a guy. Yeah. And I like when you get to see a show and there's just like a guy. And I'm like, that could be me.
Yeah.
I've dressed up like Leorio before. It could be me.
That's a good costume.
He's got a great fit, so he's classy.
Trippy.
But I mean, how far in are we together? I know you watched all of it, but. Or all the show. But.
Or toward the end of the York New City arc.
So what are we, like 40, 50 episodes in maybe? We watched a decent bit.
Yeah, something like that. I don't even know.
But yeah, I'd definitely love to see more. You know, from what I've seen, it gets definitely more serious.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like crazy levels more. But it's definitely been entertaining. And I love Go, and I think he's a great character. He's innocent, and he's on a mission, and he's not going to let anything stop him. Because he's also super strong and has a ton of potential. So there's a lot of really likable characters, some dislikable ones, some weird ones like Hisoka. Hisoka's weird, but I still think he's kind of likable at the same time. So, I don't know. But definitely want to watch more of that. Has a banger opening theme song. And has
47 episodes.
Has some banger closing theme songs.
Yeah, it does.
So that's all we really need in the show. Now, I don't know if you saw that it did get announced they're going to be continuing the manga.
Yeah, again.
So
that's actually the second time. So the mangaka is sick, and he stopped the manga a while ago. Then I think 2 years ago, released a little bit more. Now in I think September or October, going to release some more. So
maybe we'll get closer to an ending, you know?
Yeah, hopefully.
And then maybe they'll animate it, maybe not. But
who's to say?
There's still so much more for me to watch to even get to that point.
Yeah.
So maybe next time you want to make a deal, you throw Hunter x Hunter in there.
Maybe you like it so much that we don't need to make a deal.
I don't know about that. But yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, dude. Happy to see it. So my number 23 is going to be Dragon Ball Super. So this was the most recent iteration of Dragon Ball. Really, really action-packed show. Certainly a lot more fast-moving than some of the previous shows. But I really enjoy it. I mean, you get a lot more of your favorite characters. Well, maybe not if your favorite character is Yamcha, but for us normal folks.
There's a baseball episode.
True, he does.
He's so cool to
I mean, dude, he's a baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good at it.
To be honest, even then, my favorite character does not get a lot of shine in the show either. It, very much becomes the Goku show again.
And Vegeta.
Vegeta for sure.
Yeah, if you're not Goku or a Vegeta fan, then you're not getting screen time.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it literally is just like the power just keeps on scaling upward.
And the power of God, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, like, from worldly issues to now, you know, universal issues.
To, like, multiversal issues, yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff. The tournament at the end of the anime, at least. I mean, there's more manga that hasn't been animated. Tournament of Power is, I mean, it's awesome. It's so much fun to watch. Lot of great like mini fights in there.
Yeah, I like the pacing of that. I never felt drawn out like.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit, but not anything too crazy. I love the newest power ups like Ultra Instinct Goku.
Spoilers.
It's been out for like 10 years. Not quite.
Yeah,
10
almost.
Years.
I
That's
guess
true. And I mean, a lot of things have too. But I mean, I think it's so synonymous with the show anyway. Ultra Instinct.
Well, I think Super Saiyan's synonymous with the show more than Ultra Instinct.
Well, Super Saiyan's synonymous with a different show. I think that this show has its own.
Yeah, well, this one's got Super Saiyan. God Super Saiyan, of course. Super Saiyan Blue for short.
The blue hair's sick too. Yeah, but it's fun stuff.
Yeah, I love the blue.
I really enjoy it. You know, really enjoy the fights. Most of the arcs were really solid. I think of one that it's not that I didn't love it. Like the only thing, and there was kind of like a change to a character. There was a visual change, and then just an overall tonal change.
Did you not like
with Trunks? He's just not who he was in Dragon Ball Z, which I don't love.
He did look cooler. I didn't get to the part where he shows up in Z, but
he's
like
so sick
with like the long purple hair and the sword.
Well, the long purple hair was after a while. At first, his hair is similar, but his design is so much stronger.
Short?
Yeah, it starts off the same way it is in Super. It's just a little bit designed differently.
Well, it's purple too, right?
Yes, yeah. And the color is what it is. They messed up originally having Bulma and him have two different colored hair. Bulma, I think, was always supposed to have purple. They gave her blue.
I think she does, in like the manga.
Yes, I mean I think in the manga has purple hair, and he had purple hair.
So
she has blue hair, so they just said, "Hey, we're gonna give him blue hair."
But
too.
they decided to retcon that
but
in between shows.
Kid Trunks still has purple hair, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's real weird.
So maybe we'll just say he got like some off-screen hair dye.
I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, he's just not as sick as he was in Dragon Ball Z. That's my own.
I really like that arc though.
It's a great arc, but you know.
That's when the show gets a lot more serious than on out.
For sure. But no, really love it. One of the first things we watched. Something we really shared together and has really brought us to where we are now. I think we touched on that in the first episode of the podcast. But it'll always have a special place in my heart, and that special place is number 23.
All right. My number 22 is Cuckoos, a couple of Cuckoos, which we already talked about. So you're number 22.
22. These two shows, 23 and 22, have been ever locked together in my list. Every single iteration of this list.
Why?
They have been back to back. And 22 is Dragon Ball Z.
Well, there you go. That's why.
So yeah, I mean, this was the first anime that I watched.
Pokemon.
The first. Okay, fine.
What, popular in America?
Sonic X, like there's a couple.
Yeah, but Dragon Ball Z is popular in America.
For sure. So this was the first anime I watched.
Did we have Pokemon on this list? Didn't we take Pokemon off?
We did take Pokemon off the list
because it's just too hard to place.
It's just it's.
All right. Well,
so far.
Okay, your first anime that you watched.
Yeah, but that led us down this path. I'll say. I just love the show. I love the show so much. Yes, I'll admit some of the fights can drag. There's no excuses there. I mean, it was, airing every week for a long time. It was very, very 90s of it to be that way. Just every Saturday for kids to watch.
Yeah, I don't think I could imagine waiting a year.
You're watching it every week.
You're watching him fight Frieza for a year.
But I think for kids, I think that was great. I don't know. I think that, I understand that it's annoying, and that's why they did Dragon Ball Z Kai to speed it up. But yeah, I mean, just such an awesome show, just so cool, so many sick moments. The original Super Saiyan transformation is one of the best moments in anime history. in my opinion.
I could get behind that. I mean, I've seen that part at least, like the scene
Yeah,
before.
it's awesome. I mean, this show, just like the cultural impact is unbelievable. It really, really is. I think that a lot of people know who Goku is. A lot of people know Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
And
everybody.
it's because of this.
To go off on a tangent, I was at work,
Okay.
and I work at a car dealership, and I was driving around with one of the salesmen, and we were on like a mission. And after we're like, oh, let's go get some food. We were looking for a Chick-fil-A nearby because I knew there was one nearby, and we were just like driving. We saw a red building. It wasn't it. It was like I think some like ramen place or something. And I'm like, this isn't it. They have a picture of Goku eating ramen, and like my coworker who's like 50 in mid-50s, like, oh yeah, Goku, Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, wow, like everybody, most people, so many people know Goku.
No, it's wild.
It's crazy
It really
how popular he is as a character.
Yeah. And my favorite Dragon Ball character is Gohan. So you certainly get the best of Gohan in this show, especially with the Cell arc, or Cell Saga rather, not arc.
Not even the Great Saiyaman arc.
But well, let me get into it. So I mean, the Gohan, like, the whole Super Saiyan 2 transformation and just like that scene, I like that more than the original Goku transformation. That's my favorite scene in the whole show. Just, it's awesome. It really is so sick. I think Trunks is awesome in the show as well. You know, I kind of touched on that previously. I close here with saying I enjoy all of it. I think that the Great Saiyaman arc got a lot of flack. It was evident that the show was supposed to turn over to be Gohan's at that point, and media perception wise, at least, it was fumbled. I think it was an interesting direction to go, kind of making him into a superhero. I just, I don't know what sort of influence there was with that. I don't want to say that it was necessarily like Western comic book superhero influence that made him Akira Toriyama that is choose to do the kind of superhero thing with Gohan.
I can see that though.
But I still enjoy that part of the show, and then it leads into another awesome tournament arc, and obviously Goku comes back and on. It becomes the Goku show again. But this show gave me a lot, including one of my favorite anime characters of all time. And I'm really, really grateful to it for that. So, number 22, Dragon Ball Z.
All right. So moving on, my number 21, which is something you haven't talked about yet. It's Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Yeah.
Definitely one that I know is one of your favorite romances, so we can see if I do it any justice here. But it's definitely a very lovable show, and I think this show is another one that puts its comedy, like, first.
Yeah, it's such a
like
funny show.
It's got like so much romance.
It's so funny.
But like it is so funny.
Yeah.
Like I love it. The dub is great too. The
really
dub narrator is awesome.
Yeah, the dub and sub are great. I think I do prefer the dub narrator. I think comedy, I think I've talked about this before, sometimes gets lost in translation.
Yes.
So he kills it.
Yes, Ian Sinclair, big shout out. He's awesome. But absolutely a fantastic show. And it so much back and forth, and them trying to prove they're trying to get the other. There's two people. You'll talk about the story more, but they're trying to get each other to admit that they like each other. The first one who confesses first loses. That's the concept of the show.
Love is war.
Yeah, love is war, and both of our main characters here are super super smart. So it definitely becomes interesting to see who's gonna outsmart who and win today's episode. I love the way that they pace that too, with like sometimes like the mini episodes and then they'll pick a winner or a loser. It's just so entertaining. And the other big note I had is the rap episode is an absolute banger.
That does slap.
It is so good. It is absolutely awesome. Something I'd never seen before in a show like that.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen music in plenty of shows that the characters sing, but that's just so freaking funny.
It was wild to read that and then see it come to life. Like it was
I bet
crazy.
That's so different.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So I'm not going to add much more because maybe you'll talk about it later. Who knows?
Maybe. Alrighty. So I'll close off today's list with my number 21, and that's going to be Classroom of the Elite. Something I think you might talk about later. Who's to say? So basically, it's about a genius character who's trying to fly under the radar at a very prestigious and also insane school. They do like a lot of like crazy tests and like it's just a wild show. Basically, the classes are all ranked and are trying to surpass each other. There's a huge point system. Really, really wild. Can get dark at times.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more to uncover. We've seen 3 seasons thus far. I think there might have been a pretty big gap between the first and second season.
Yeah, I think the first season came out in like maybe like 17 or 18.
Okay, I mean, so that's not crazy.
Yeah,
And
but
then
a
2
second
came out.
season came out in like 2022.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. So yeah, it's something that we're still
Or it might
watching.
have even been 23.
Well, when did season 3 come out?
Was that not the beginning of this year? I think it was.
Yeah, I guess it was. I was thinking maybe it was the end of last year. No, it was definitely the beginning of this year. Because we were at one of the conventions. I think maybe it was literally last season. Or was it? I don't know.
I think it was the
I'm wasting
winter.
time.
It was the winter.
Yeah, wasting time. But no, pretty cool show. Like really enjoyable. A lot of mystery and a lot of twists. Kind of never know what's going to happen next, or how our main character is going to save the day, or if he'll save the day. Yeah, pretty cool. As a main character, Ayana Koji, certainly really interesting. Like just very, very plain as far as a personality goes. Very cold and calculated. Which I think is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of anime pro tags are just like crazy over the top, so it's cool to see a different spin on someone who's leading a show. So I've really enjoyed it thus far. It's based on a light novel, which I actually don't even know if it's finished. I think there's a lot to it, but yeah, it's been really great and really enjoyable. Interesting take on the school genre as a whole. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see, how he kind of starts to announce himself, given his prowess academically, physically, all of the above. Dude's like borderline superhuman.
Yeah, he pursues his academic prowess a lot.
yeah, for sure. But now, I mean, I after getting 2 consecutive seasons back to back, I'd like to think that it's going to keep rolling.
I hope so.
Hopefully, a lot of people watched it. I'm excited for more, and I really think this is a solid show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to argue with you there.
Sounds good. All right, that kind of closes out our list for today. Do you have your deep dive prepared?
Oof,
to
I
talk
don't
about
even
next
know.
week?
Do you have your idea?
I do, yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, you talk about yours real quick, and I'll weigh a couple
Yeah, sounds
options
good.
here.
Sounds good. Think about it. So next week I'm going to talk about Dragon Ball Z. I think it was probably evident in the gush session I just had in talking about it, but there's certainly a lot I have to say about this. A lot of stuff that means a lot to me. So I really would love to dive into it a little bit. And obviously its popularity is just completely off the charts. So maybe a lot of people will watch that episode,
Yeah. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about Darling in the Franxx.
Okay, wow.
I
Sounds good.
think I'm going to probably talk about some of the manga too.
Yeah.
Because the manga takes crazily different steps at the ending there.
So I've been
and
told.
I've been told or heard that it retcons it, so I think maybe I'll do a little bit of comparing both.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
reread
interesting.
more of the manga and probably rewatch some of my favorite episodes of the anime, figure out what I love so much about it
Figure out what it is
in
that
the
you do.
beginning. Yeah, figure it out what it is that I do. Figure out what I really loved about it and just read the manga, see what differences they take, because the anime came first for that show, so they definitely made some missteps at the manga retcon, so I can't wait to see what those differences are.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening today. If you're excited to hear what we have to talk about next week, please join us then. But yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun to go through this list.
All right. See you guys next week.
Peace.